Yeah. So just to clarify, it wasn't that I sort of inherited the business directly from him. What had happened is that in the sort of early days of SEO Sherpa, which was from like 2012 onwards, we had essentially built out a team that was focused on mostly kind of technical and on-site SEO. And we were still using a partner, which was James's business for all of the off-site stuff. So we then vertically integrated what we were outsourcing at the time into the business, and therefore got economies of scale and also higher levels of profit. In terms of challenges, though, from the early stages of SEO Sherpa, all business owners could probably sort of validate this. Let's say, I think a challenge of any business owner is at some stage going to be cash flow, especially as you start to scale the business and increase your payroll. There's certainly times for me when there was concerns about whether I'd be able to pay my staff at the end of the month. And one of the biggest challenges I remember looking back probably came around maybe 2017, 2018 or thereabouts. I got an email on the weekend from my bank in the US saying that they were going to close my account within 7 days. And this account was receiving account for all of our client payments coming through credit card subscriptions, which was about 70 or 80% of our business at the time. It took me about 2.5 months to resolve that. And what I had to do to combat that situation, essentially open up an entity in another country entirely, and then move all of my credit card receipts over from one jurisdiction to another. Essentially means I had 2.5 months worth of cash tied up, like just sitting there that I couldn't access. Those types of situations, my God, they make your hair fall out sometimes, seeing how you can kind of strive your way through those. And there will always be situations like that, a huge client that doesn't pay you. So being able to kind of manage that and make sure that you're, always able to keep a large enough buffer in your profitability and manage cash flow with, a large enough safety net is definitely something that I've become a lot more astute at monitoring, let's say, as the business has grown more significantly. Yeah, and then I think probably sort of, particularly in the early days, would have been like vendor management when we were not doing everything in-house, managing vendors, making sure that they're delivering on time to quality of standards, those sorts of things, was challenging. But running a team is probably equally as challenging, if not more challenging, if you're not kind of suited to, leadership, team development, hiring, recruiting, that sort of stuff. Thankfully, that's an area that I think I am and my team is quite strong in. So I think we excel in that area much more. But don't want to give any false visions or ideas to anyone. It's pretty difficult building a substantial team.
Yeah. If you could go back in time, though, to back in 2012 to maybe 2016 in that 4-year gap, what are some of the things that you would change or do differently at least?
I think learnings would certainly be to invest in quality talent earlier. And I've always known that conceptually. I've always tried to find the best people. But I don't think I really understood the difference between, an A player and a B player. Like, you can find some exceptional people that will be literally 10 times more effective than your next team members. But it's very, very difficult, A, to find them, and B, in the early days, actually to convince that level of talent to want to join your small little business that's probably not particularly that well known in the market or has got that much of an inspiring mission. So whilst I say that, I also do realize that that's almost a product of success. And as you grow and scale and you build a reputation and you attract more quality people, other quality people will also want to hire you, want to join you. Sorry. The other thing I would say is really understanding the importance of getting out of your own way. I have been certainly guilty at stages of holding on to things that I shouldn't have held on to. The sort of 80% trivial work that perhaps I enjoyed doing or could do marginally better than someone else. And therefore I would continue to do those tasks, whether that's, reconciling accounts or creating design briefs or, writing for the blog. I possibly do those things better than anyone else, but I would be far better to, of course, hand those things off to someone else and work on my essential unique ability and the 20% that's actually going to move the business forward. And I realized that in hindsight, because every time I've then sort of shift those things onto someone else, the business has grown exponentially. So I know that I'm probably my own worst enemy when it comes to that.